Jonah Comstock, editor of Pharma Forum. I'm here on the sidelines of JP Morgan 2024 in San Francisco, and I'm with Simon Arkell, CEO and co-founder of Ryght.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about Ryght. It's Ryght with a Y.
Ryght with a Y, yep. RYGHT.ai. So Ryght is a company that was incorporated last year, 2023. We started up when the generative AI explosion hit. And my co-founders in this company are a number of individuals who've been selling biopharma solutions in advanced analytics and lab services for many, many years. And we decided that the industry needed a secure enterprise scale platform that focused on advanced analytics, advanced artificial intelligence, and specifically really knew how to handle generative AI. So people are familiar with the concept of ChatGPT, of course. Many companies have banned ChatGPT, even though there's great benefit in it. It also has the problem that it hallucinates, meaning that it's very confident about the wrong answer. And so that arrogance, if you will, in the technology had to be solved for, because this is a pretty important industry to get the answers right. So we picked a software platform that has intellectual property around the orchestration and the tuning and the security of artificial intelligence for this industry specifically. And so as a result, we've now raised venture capital from 6 VCs, and we did that very quickly earlier last year. We've built out a platform. This week we announced the general availability of that enterprise platform and some initial customers. So we're pretty excited with the momentum so far.
So what does the platform do? What's the use case of GenAI for pharma and life sciences?
So the opportunity in this space and the exciting thing is that you can do almost anything with it, but that's also kind of the detriment. If it does too many things, or you try and say too much about what it is capable of doing, you end up doing nothing. And so we've seen very specific needs in the industry with biotechs and pharma companies who are wanting to use the ability to interrogate huge data sets all at once, to create structure and insight into huge amounts of unstructured data, which previously was unimaginable or impossible, but is now possible with this type of technology, all the way through to generating content and documents for the knowledge workers. So think of a biotech or a CRO. A biotech will be putting out an RFP for CROs to bid on and win a global clinical trial, as an example. This will help accelerate the development of that RFP. Or for a CRO, it could be responding to RFPs and winning the clinical trial business. So we have one customer with just a few hundred employees, and they're responding to about 30 RFPs a month. So on average, one a day. They're writing proposals which include and involve many people within the organization, and that's a big time sink for them. So if we can accelerate the development of those proposals and pull from information that's relevant about the success of that particular CRO in a particular geography or with a disease state, then they're more likely to have a more accurate and compelling proposal and get more out of the existing staff they have. And so we're seeing proposal writing, RFP generation, protocol development, and then the many hundreds of documents that are required to get through the FDA process to get a drug approved. But the whole goal that if we can help compress a clinical trial from the 7 or 10 or 12 years it takes to get through to commercial availability and pull that in by a couple of years, there are huge savings and also new revenue that's possible.
It's really interesting. How, as you talk to customers and potential customers, how have the mindset around AI adoption and integration changed over the last year?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. So one thing we've never heard is anyone say, this AI thing, I'm not interested. Everyone's interested. But the question is, for a company that's in the business of selling SaaS software to help solve problems in the industry, like what are the problems that have a checkbook attached to them? So where do you have a painkiller and not a vitamin? And so last year, there was just a lot of playing around. There were pilot budgets available with some of the bigger companies, just a lot of intrigue and playing around on their own with the smaller companies in the industry. But we're now seeing that companies have either failed at doing it themselves because they realize how much complexity is involved on the back end. And we're seeing that they're coming to us and saying, look, why don't we just get the initial application, we call it a co-pilot, live, start showing value, and then grow from there. So we're seeing real traction now, but it's been probably 5 or 6 months of people just really dipping a toe in the water, but real applications and value that are coming from. Where we're really going to see value is when there's true demonstrable ROI, and then I think the industry will really pick up from there.
What I hear about GenAI is that it's a good place to be because everyone's excited about it because the use case opportunities are multitudinous, but it's also kind of by its nature commodified, right? So how do you maintain your unique value proposition with a technology that is so easy to use inherently?
Yeah. Well, I think on the surface it seems easy to use because anyone can use it. I could go to ChatGPT right now and ask a question that's healthcare related or biopharma related. The problem is that if I'm within the 4 walls of a biotech or a pharma company or a CRO for that matter, I'm probably not allowed to use that. So I can't even use it at work because it's not secure. There are real examples of prompts that have been asked of ChatGPT that show up in a Google result. Yeah. Not only the prompt, the question itself, but also the response. And so, let alone if I'm uploading or cutting and pasting my company's secrets into ChatGPT, clearly I'll get fired if I do that. It's just not a good solution. So we thought, there is tons of plumbing. The very large companies can get a lot of VIP treatment from Microsoft or Amazon, and they can probably have their teams build something. But even if they do that, it's millions of dollars to build something that's secure and that's trained and tuned for their industry on their own company's proprietary data. But then they have to bring in a lot of public data to really round that out and make the answers better and more comprehensive. So we've done that as an enterprise software company. We've provided a secure tenant within our SaaS software. So think of a salesforce.com where you get your own instance, but this is fully secure. Or if you're a huge company and you want your own standalone version, we have a cloud service. It's in Kubernetes. You can run that in your own cloud or on your own hardware in your own data center. But it's also tuned from a ton of public data. And you as the customer would be able to use your own proprietary trade secret data within your instance of the software, even fine tuning the large language models. But no other customer of ours will ever get any of that work from you as the customer. So it's completely secure. And you can't get that with anything that's available today. So we're really running at that. And especially the mid-market companies who don't have the millions and millions of dollars to develop this on their own and then manage it. What happens if you do that and you attach to 1 language model or 2 and those become obsolete? Well, that happens every month. Something's becoming obsolete. So we're managing the obsolescence. We're plugging in models that are now taking over from a previous model. And that could even include a customer's own fine-tuned model, which they would own. And we're orchestrating across multiple models. And we know how to deal with the healthcare and the biopharma data that is so important in getting the right results.
How do you solve the hallucination problem?
Well, you have to know how to deal with huge amounts of industry data. You have to know how to structure huge amounts of unstructured data, whether that's medical records or lab data, genomic data, pathology data, coming soon for us, image data. And if you can make the results much, much more accurate because you tune the platform with that domain specificity, you then need to be able to prove that the answer is not a hallucination, which means that you have to be able to see what the source of that result is, and you can click into the source document to verify that the answer is in fact correct.
Taking a little step back, what are some of the larger trends in biopharma and in the industry that you're looking ahead to in 2024? Things you're expecting to happen, things you're hoping to happen?
Yeah, well, clearly the things that we're hoping to happen will be the democratization of this sort of technology. My team and I have been in the business for many, many years. Our last company that many of our founding team were in was a company called Deeplens, which I co-founded. And Deeplens was a company that used artificial intelligence, but in this case, digital machine vision AI, and later natural language processing to match oncology patients to clinical trials in real time and then get them consented and enrolled onto the clinical trial. We ended up selling that company in 2022. And before that, we had a healthcare advanced analytics or predictive analytics company called Prediction Software. And so for 10 or 12 years now, we've been in this space where democratization was always a hope, and we were working on making this technology available to more people. But we were really hamstrung by one problem, and that is a supervised machine learning model or a natural language processing model, NLP, can do one thing. It takes months and months to build, and then it can do one narrow thing really well. That's precision AI. But this generative AI explosion has meant that on unstructured and structured data, you can ask anything and get a result back. And as long as you can make sure that the result is within the guardrails of your security model and the hallucination problem, we think that that's a huge unlock to anyone getting access to this next level of technology that was previously unavailable. And so what we're hoping for the industry is that every knowledge worker in healthcare, life sciences can now have access at work in a secure way to this type of technology, but that it gives them a 10x on their ability to do their job. And so that helps patient outcomes. It helps with new drugs that get developed much more quickly, and obviously the approval to get them commercially available so that they can get into more patients. And so we think that there's this, and hope that this is the year or the next couple of years are really when this really takes off in a way that was just completely impossible previously.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Simon. This has been really enlightening, and I wish you luck with this project.
Thank you very much.